School is like a microcosm of society where the rich put on airs and those who are weak music get trampled. In that society, Go-Gun chooses to hide away the boy who was once a friendly student, now just a tattered shadow. At school, coming only to sleep, not even music having the money to buy a school lunch. His peers look down on him, push him around, and hurl insults at him. Go-Gun does not hit back, not because he is a coward, but because he knows the value of the compensation money. He endures it all to reserve his sharpness and the courage for the long nights in the underground, working part-time at the casino, where his ability to read minds and control the game earns him deep respect from many. Regulars call him a genius, not because of luck, but because of how he manages each game as if everything is under his precise control. But that is just the surface. Deep down, Go-Gun is carrying a burden that no one in his classroom could understand. His family has hit a financial crisis. The piling debts mean his life is no longer about studying and having fun like other kids his age. Instead, it is filled with long shifts until late at night, meals skipped, and exhaustion that piles up day by day. One night, Go-Gun is invited to play at the usual casino. As soon as he walks in, he immediately senses the difference. This is not a place for common players. Everyone sitting around the table carries a chilling aura. They do not talk much, but their eyes are sharp as knives, like those who are used to putting their entire lives on the betting table. The first game begins. Go-Gun maintains a calm exterior, but inside, his heart beats faster than ever. Each card being flipped over is like pulling a taut nerve. He observes every small gesture of his opponents. How they place bets, how they look at each other, everything is memorized and analyzed by him. Go-Gun starts playing his own way. He raises the stakes at the right time, slows the rhythm in just the right spots, and even tries to create false signals to confuse the opponents. At times, he makes the whole table believe he has a strong hand, forcing them to fold, when in fact, it is the exact opposite. When the game ends, Go-Gun is the winner. But it is not the victory that makes him ecstatic, but rather, it feels like a warning that he should stop before something worse happens. Returning to everyday life, Go-Gun continues his familiar grind, going to school and working. Back home, exhausted, his home is no longer an escape but a space filled with pressure, empty bottles of alcohol scattering, a heavy air. He quietly cleans up, no complaining, no reproaching. Meanwhile, Sei-hee appears in a completely different world. An exchange student returned from the US, beautiful, confident, and talented, picked up by her boyfriend at the airport. Tae-ha has had feelings for her for years. He is well loved by Sei-hee's family. Her mother constantly praises his character. But Sei-hee is determined about her fate, admitting to her mother throughout these years that she has no feelings for him, so she hopes her mom lets things happen naturally. Sei-hee is excited about her brand new uniform. Perhaps because she is in a new school, Sei-hee is thrilled to prepare for tomorrow, walking into class with confidence. Sei-hee cheerfully introduces herself. She quickly draws the attention of everyone, especially Go-Gun. He was always indifferent to everything around him. Go-Gun would just sleep. When seated next to Go-Gun, Sei-hee took the initiative to strike up a conversation, open and lively, completely opposed to his cold demeanor. She talked a lot, from her own stories to her experiences abroad, but his replies were only short, blunt answers, or even just silence. Because Go-Gun was handsome, he made an initial impression on her. However, she boldly asked if he had a girlfriend, as she had lived in the US for so long that she had few friends in Korea, especially in terms of having a boyfriend. Sei-hee kept asking and answering herself. Go-Gun flatly cut her off, leaving her feeling awkward. Even so, that was nothing to Sei-hee. She even suggested being best friends with him, which felt amazing. Having such a handsome friend, Go-Gun found it too annoying and told Sei-hee to be quiet for a bit. Hearing this, she just froze, confused, not understanding what happened. Because Go-Gun was eerily calm, he annoyed her and walked away, knowing Sei-hee was a returnee from the US. Other girls tried to get close to her, not only because they were showing off, but Sei-hee had a beautiful face, striking with a high nose bridge, and she was also that graceful. They invited Sei-hee to join the princess squad because they saw her potential. Sei-hee happily agreed to join. Everyone in school knew about it. Sei-hee kept asking about their classmate Go-gun, nicknamed Handsome Zombie. In his freshman year, Go-gun was very friendly, but by his sophomore year, he changed completely. His personality became more withdrawn. He would only sleep at school and would not even eat school lunches anymore. They heard his family went bankrupt, so he had no money to eat. They felt pity for his handsome face. Go-gun built an iron wall around himself. He isolated himself from all his friends. No one could approach him. Go-gun used all his spare time working hard to help his family. At an age meant for only studying and playing, like his peers, Go-gun had to grow up much more, making a living early on. Seeing two classmates topping up money to play games, Go-gun advised them not to dump all their money into games because it was meaningless. Once the match ended and their money was gone, they blamed everything on Go-gun, angrily grabbing his shirt, scolding him shamelessly. But Go-gun remained calm, daring them to lay a finger on him, or they would definitely lose more money. Feeling personally offended, he raised his fist, preparing to hit him, but suddenly Sei-hee appeared, blocking that lightning-fast punch, sternly lecturing the two students. Her attitude firm with stinging words that made everyone listen and feel convinced she hit the bullseye. Hearing this, the guy got furious, fists flying toward Sei-hee, but he had no idea that she held a black belt. She parried all of his attacks, taking the chance to deal with both of them. From then on, they stopped bullying others. The two guys ran away terrified, not daring to look back at the big sister Sei-hee. Go-gun gave her a thumbs up. Sei-hee tried to wait for him to finish work. When the door opened, Go-gun fell silent and walked straight ahead, not caring about the person waiting for him. Seeing that, Sei-hee hurriedly followed him from behind, like she was stalking him. Go-gun asked why she was tailing him. With a quick wit, Sei-hee pointed out her house was right ahead, making him unable to keep his guard up. Sei-hee curiously asked if he was working part-time. Go-gun answered with an icy face. Seeing that, Sei-hee asked with concern, "Have you eaten dinner yet?" "Already, since when did that become important?" With her, just because of some rumor at home. Go-gun lost all his money at the tables, so he had no money for lunch. Even that was gone. That only made Sei-hee curious. Go-gun just shook his head and walked off, silent, instead of answering. Seeing him act so cool, Sei-hee absolutely refused to give up. She was confident she was brave and bold, so she asked Go-gun to walk her home, since it was already dark and dangerous. Go-gun remembered what she had said earlier, about knowing martial arts, and how people would not be afraid of her, so if he refused and even made fun of her, it would only get worse. Sei-hee had been kind enough to save him, but Go-gun was still acting so cold. Suddenly, a car sped by. Go-gun quickly pulled her toward him. Sei-hee's face was still frozen in shock. Go-gun gave a quick warning. Sei-hee smiled softly, silently thanking him. The next day at school, Sei-hee sat there dazed, like someone who had lost her soul. When she did not see Go-gun at their desk, she stared at the empty seat, her mood sinking lower and lower. Even though her friends went out to hang out, she would not go. Sei-hee went to the music room, remembering the old memory of a childhood performance. At the piano, the sound of Do Young in her mind helped Southeast Hee win second place. Sitting back down in that seat, Sei-hee calmly played a piece on the piano. When she was little, she had promised her mother she would win first place someday. Her mother worried about her grades and her future. She suggested that Sei-hee stop playing piano for a while. The sound rang out. The young man sitting in that small, cramped corner slowly woke up, and the music seemed to be the only thing that could pull him out of his own world. Go-gun softly walked up and startled Sei-hee. Opening her eyes, she saw that Go-gun was already standing rigidly right in front of her, like a utility pole. Without even catching his breath, he just said one thing, "Are you still feeling okay?" Then he turned and left the room quickly. Seeing that, Sei-hee felt like someone had hit the accelerator, and she hurried after him. Not everyone would chase after someone like that, but with Go-gun, it was different. Go-gun complained about being bothered. Seeing that he was about to leave without looking back, Sei-hee suddenly grabbed his hand. The move was so fast that even she did not understand what she had just done. The two of them immediately pulled back, as if they had touched An exposed electrical socket. What did we just do? The two of them immediately shrank back. Saying the cook had made a bunch of good dishes today. Just hearing that made his stomach growl. To break the tension, he invited him out for a meal. Saying the kitchen had made nothing but delicious food today. Just hearing that made his stomach growl a little. It sounded like a protest rally, and she even used some lofty-sounding philosophy to persuade Go-Gun to eat with her. Like eating is not just for staying alive, but for feeling happiness too. After hearing that, Go-Gun could only let out a laugh. Hearing he say things like that was like hearing a cat recite philosophy. It was both funny and hard to believe. He took a few steps closer to he. They stood so close that if she breathed hard, she would probably brush against his shirt. Go-Gun leaned down a little and looked straight into her eyes, teasing her for being shorter than him. It sounded like such a simple line, but it made he both shy and eager to argue back. Suddenly, a call came in, and no one knew what the person on the other end said. But it changed his expression. Faster than the weather could turn. Go-Gun left in a hurry, his steps so fast it looked like he was racing against time, ignoring he calling after him from behind. He did not answer at all. Seeing him leave like that, he stood there frozen, her heart full of worry. Back then, Go-Gun's family used to be full of joy and happiness. A simple kind of happiness, but enough to make others jealous. But everything changed when his younger sister, June, suddenly fell ill without warning. And there was no time to prepare mentally. After that shock, Go-Gun's father seemed to lose his sense of direction. He fell into a drunken stupor. Then, one time when he was not even sober, he got into a traffic accident. And his leg was left crippled. When he heard there was an emergency, Go-Gun immediately rushed to the hospital. The worry felt like it was crushing his heart. The doctor said she needed surgery and a bone marrow transplant for June. The cost was so high, that just hearing it was enough to make anyone pass out. Given his family financial situation at the time, coming up with that kind of money was almost impossible. From then on, Go-Gun stepped into a spiral with no way out. He thought of every possible way to make money, even methods he had never considered before. In the end, he walked into a room filled with temptation. A place where the lights were dazzling, but people's hearts grew dark. It was a gambler's paradise, where players had cast off their conscience and, sometimes, even their reason. Go-Gun did not go there to play, but to work as a runner. The job sounded simple, but it was full of pressure. One small mistake could cost everything. He did it all just to make money. To pay his sister's hospital bills, the pressure on his shoulders was so heavy that even breathing made him tired. When he got home, he found his father drunk again, the smell of alcohol clinging to every corner of the house. Go-Gun helplessly told him to quit drinking, since his leg had only just been injured in that accident. If he kept this up, recovery would take forever, but his father still clung to that bottle as if it were his last friend. Even as the pain gnawed at him, Go-Gun tried many times to say something, but the words kept getting stuck in his throat. In the end, he could only wish his father good night, sounding both sad and powerless. The next day, he came to school in a state of utter exhaustion, nodding off every day as if school were some kind of unpaid detention. Sunlight fell on Go-Gun's face, making him look oddly more peaceful than usual. He sat nearby, unable to stop herself from staring at him. She gently draped her jacket over him so he could sleep more comfortably. It was a small gesture, but full of care. She did not forget to sneak a few more looks, smiling to herself, as if she had just discovered some secret flavor. She felt happy seeing that Go-Gun could look this cute sometimes. Another student loudly called out he, startling her. She quickly made a shushing gesture and whispered, "Don't wake Go-Gun's sleep." They had planned to invite her out for rice cakes, but he was not in a hurry to leave. She wanted to wait until he woke up, as if that were some important mission. While waiting for Go-Gun to wake up, he explained about the jacket, worrying that he might be cold and used it to keep him warm while he slept. Go-Gun, moved by her kindness, handed the jacket back to her, wondering why she treated him so well. Maybe this was destiny between the two of them. He analyzed the situation logically. And if coincidence keeps happening over and over, that is what people call fate. Go-Gun laughed at how naive she sounded. He suddenly called out his name, which made her happy because he had finally noticed her. He looked at the book corner and then explained the fate he had just mentioned. Life was not as easy as Sei-hee thought. He had so many burdens in his heart, and even less room for luxuries like that. Go-gun always had to live by the rules. Sei-hee wanting a school romance probably was not easy to win over. After saying that, Go-gun left, forgetting his phone on the desk. Sei-hee quickly ran after him to return it, but accidentally tripped and fell right in the schoolyard. Go-gun turned back to help her up. He wondered why she was like that. She even ran after me. Who would have thought it was because of my phone being left at home? Go-gun gently said, thanks, and brushed her hair, making Sei-hee a little nervous. Then her boyfriend Tae-ha showed up. Go-gun actually knew him too. It had been a long time since the two had seen each other again. Go-gun remembered the days back in school when the two of them fought over a life or death card game win. Tae-ha bet all the chips he had. Go-gun kept calm and shoved all in too. Go-gun could tell he was scared, and Tae-ha panicked, so he had been completely crushed by Go-gun. Tae-ha never forgot that memory. Go-gun did not want to bring up the old business again, so he looked for an excuse to leave. Tae-ha deliberately brought up Go-gun's father. Those words hit the darkest part of his heart. He warned Tae-ha not to mess with his father. Tae-ha had pushed it too far. Go-gun grabbed him by the collar. After Tae-ha mentioned the one thing he never wanted to hear. Sei-hee stood there, frozen with fear. Music on Tae-ha's behalf, I am sorry, Go-gun. Hearing that, he let go right away. Even saying they made a good couple. Which made Sei-hee's heart skip a beat. After that, Tae-ha took her home. He music confessed that he truly liked Sei-hee. Sei-hee gently turned down his feelings and had never given Tae-ha a chance at all. He was the only one who liked Sei-hee one-sidedly. Tae-ha thought that, because Go-gun had shown up, Sei-hee had started acting that way. She immediately denied it. Go-gun had nothing to do with their relationship. From the very beginning, Tae-ha had only liked her. Even now, Sei-hee hoped she would get just one look from him. She sighed, apologized, and went back inside. Tae-ha tried to clean up the mess, not letting anyone steal Sei-hee away. Go-gun's father went to the casino and demanded a huge sum of money for chips. Terrified and desperate because he was so deep in the red, he kept losing money, and even pawned off all the jewelry he was wearing to gamble it all away, only to end up broke again. Behind the casino floor, Tae smirked coldly and called the cops. Go-gun's father was taken to court, and he looked back toward his son, his eyes shaking, unable to say a word. Go-gun could only watch helplessly as his father fell apart. How could he sink this low? Tae-ha was satisfied with his revenge. Go-gun wandered the street, his heart unbearably heavy. The image of Sei-hee kept flashing through his mind, but he did not care anymore. Go-gun threw himself back into work, feeling bored out of his mind. The image of Sei-hee kept appearing, but it was not enough to make him pay attention. Go-gun dove back into extra shifts. Working at the bar, regular customers only pointed out the spots where the ads could earn the most money. Feeling out the situation, Go-gun quickly told him his father was doing fine, trying to hide the hurt in his heart. That man had once been a big shot at the card table. Seeing how cornered he was, Go-gun agreed to play one round with them. The manager was also very surprised when it was the first time he had ever seen Go-gun play with customers, but he played along too, just because he did not want to bring up his father anymore. The manager quickly realized that Go-gun was going through a rough patch because the medical bills for his younger sister were piling up more and more. The manager suggested he join a competition, and if he won, there would be a lot of money. Go-gun started thinking whether this was his chance, whether it could help him turn his life around, and then he went right back to endless shifts. Sei-hee fell into a daze, remembering that moment. The first time she saw Go-gun, just one look was enough for her head to ring with a dramatic warning, like some golden time TV romance. Her heart was racing so fast that if there had been a monitor, it probably would have screamed red alert, and that was when he had pulled her out of danger. That image stuck deep in her mind, making her confidently conclude that this had to be destiny. The kind of fate the heavens had already arranged, not something she imagined. But life was not a fairy tale. Tae-ha appeared like a villain straight out of a drama, making her even more sure that Go-gun was her destined match. She even believed it was the kind of fate written by heaven itself, not just something she made up in her head. Still, life was not a dream. Tae-ha showed up like a troublemaker straight out of a villain role, making everything was getting messy. The relationship between them began to suffer from misunderstandings. Sei-hee, once a dreamy girl, suddenly turned into someone lost in thought. Unable to bear this feeling, he decided to pay a visit to where Go-Gun worked, hoping to see him and get some answers. But upon asking the staff, she found out he was not there today. This news left her as disappointed as missing out on your favorite dish at a restaurant. Meanwhile, Go-Gun stood in front of a familiar place, yet feeling incredibly hesitant. He was as nervous as a student awaiting their exam results, debating whether to set foot inside. A thug standing nearby taunted him, "You back again?" His tone was half joking, half serious. He said, there was no easier way to make money. But things that come too easily rarely end well. Gambling is a bottomless pit of temptation. Once you step in, it is hard to escape. He even warned him carefully that, if you get caught, consider your future sealed shut. Hearing that, Go-Gun just remained silent because he understood that better than anyone. As the door opened, he stepped inside with such professional composure that, if you did not know him, you would probably think he had been a staff member for years. His movements were as skilled as if he would practiced 1,000 times. Meanwhile, he still sat, waiting. She believed that somehow Go-Gun would eventually show up. Just then, she accidentally spotted a gang of kids sneakily stealing from a person lying on the street. Driven by her inherent sense of justice, he immediately stepped forward to stop them, and took the chance to show off the martial arts she knew, scaring the gang enough to make them run for their lives. She turned back to look at the victim and was surprised to discover it was a man who was dead drunk and completely unaware. The pathetic sight made Sei unable to just abandon him. Even though she did not know he was actually Go-Gun's father, she still did her best to help like a truly kind-hearted person. Meanwhile, Go-Gun finished his shift at the store and carried on to the casino to serve. His life was like a loop with no pause button. Right there, a gangster kept shooting sidelong glances at the dealer, clearly harboring dishonest intentions, trying to stir up trouble, to find a way to cheat. Just as Go-Gun was walking by, he called him over, demanding to go buy a new deck of cards. He spoke as if he were bossing around an old acquaintance. Meanwhile, after taking the man home, he was slightly shocked. Seeing the house was much higher than she would imagined. It looked a bit ordinary from the outside. But inside it felt both imposing yet decrepit. She feared he would not be able to climb the stairs, so she carefully helped him upstairs. Upon walking inside the house, she was even more surprised to find Go-Gun present there. But the joy of their reunion was short-lived, because she noticed the bruises on his face. It was painful to see. Go-Gun was a bit flustered as he invited her into the house in that state. He, however, did not hesitate to look around. Visibly surprised that the interior was old enough to be considered a historical monument. Go-Gun quickly went in to check on the situation of his father. Luckily, he was sound asleep, so there was no further trouble. Turning back, he saw Sei looking at him with worried eyes. She anxiously asked where the first aid kit was to deal with the wounds. Go-Gun felt it was strange that she did not know what fear was, daring to bring a drunk man all the way to his home while still acting as calm as if she were taking a walk in the park. Sei heard this and just smiled as if she would just been complimented. Leaving Go-Gun a bit unsure of how to react, the atmosphere grew a bit awkward, but not too uncomfortable. Sei wanted to ask many things, but Go-Gun immediately he stood his ground, saying no matter what she asked, his answer would always be no. His cold demeanor was as firm as a locked door, turning everyone away. But he would not give up. She asked him about his relationship with Taeha. Go-Gun replied simply that it was just a chance encounter, while she explained that Taeha was the son of her mother's friend. As for her, she only knew him because he is a family friend, an older neighborhood brother since they were kids. This answer put Go-Gun at ease, at least, clearing up some misunderstandings in his mind. He then glanced at the award hanging on the wall and asked his father about his gambling days. Go-Gun was silent for a moment, weighing his words before saying that it was just the past. He had long since quit. He did have a natural flair and loved the game from a young age. It sounded light, but underneath was the weight of many untold stories. He was curious about the scars on his face, but was flatly refused. The ice-cold reply made her disappointed, and she had to say goodbye. Even though his words were icy, he did not forget to tell her to be careful. Stepping out the door, Sei-hee paused to think. Her head said she should leave, but her heart said to turn back. Finally, her heart won over. As usual, she went back, opened the door, and offered to help treat his wounds with pleading eyes. Go-gun was touched by her sincerity. Perhaps it had been a long time since he felt such simple care. Sei-hee meticulously applied medicine to each wound, feeling pained with every touch. Go-gun could still smile as if nothing was wrong. Today was the third time they had met by chance. If it was not fate, it would be hard to explain. Go-gun just smiled silently, his eyes looking at her differently. Sei-hee teased him until he let out a laugh. Then gently touched the wound near his lip. That moment made Sei-hee swallow hard, because of the lingering tension and heart-racing excitement. Realizing she was staring at him, Go-gun called her name. But she only answered unconsciously, her gaze still fixed on his lips, unable to control her emotions. Sei-hee leaned in and kissed lightly near the spot where she had applied the medicine. The action was so unexpected that even she was startled and tried to pull away. Little did she know, Go-gun held her from leaving. Go-gun pulled her toward him, actively kissing her lips while showing restraint, waiting for her consent. Receiving that signal of agreement, Go-gun attacked passionately. The two shared a kiss so fiery that they could not untangle themselves. In the room, a loud noise finally made them stop. Upon returning home, Sei-hee was overjoyed, feeling as though she had been seduced, leading to such loss of control. The next day, Go-gun looked at himself in the mirror, touching the wound on his lip, smiling at the thought of last night's kiss. His father suddenly walked in, making him jump in shock. Noticing the wound on his son's forehead, he worriedly asked why. But not wanting his father to worry too much, Go-gun made up an excuse about working at the construction site to put his mind at ease. Seeing this, he felt even more guilty seeing his son struggling day and night. He had no face left to look at him, as both he and Junhee were a heavy burden. Go-gun gently patted his shoulder to comfort him. What could any of these hardships mean to him? No matter how tough it was, he would give it his all. Then brighter days would come for their family. Before heading to school, he did not forget to tell his father to get some rest early. Sei-hee was waiting impatiently, eyes glued towards the main door. Her friends suspected she was two-timing, having both Go-gun and Tae-ha, half in jest, half in truth. It infuriated Sei-hee. The words practically touched a nerve for Sei-hee. No matter what, she refused to admit it. They were curious about the relationship between her and Sei-hee. No matter how she explained it, they still insisted on assuming there was a relationship. Go-gun appeared like a savior. Sei-hee instantly changed her attitude, cheerfully greeting him as he entered the classroom, as if she had guessed what he was thinking. Go-gun warned her not to overthink things, which left Sei-hee taken aback. But she denied it, and only then was Go-gun at ease. She could not help but smile happily. At lunch break, everyone headed out. Only Sei-hee and Go-gun remained in the classroom. The perfect opportunity. Sei-hee gazed at his face, which was like a painting, and even touched Go-gun's cheek, which startled him awake. As soon as he woke up, he checked the time and then rushed out, like a gust of wind, skipping lunch to head to his part-time job. Seeing that, Sei-hee chased after him, wanting to explain. Last night, Go-gun leaned in to mimic the scene, pouting his lips, teasing her about whether she wanted more. Sei-hee shyly pushed him away, as if only she was the one who benefited. Go-gun thought about what to do. Sei-hee took a snack out of her backpack and proactively placed it in his hand, carefully reminding him to eat, not to skip meals and work himself to exhaustion. Go-gun took it and was about to leave, but she grabbed his hand and asked, "Can you reconsider what happened last night?" Now, Go-gun feigned ignorance, scratching his head, as if he did not understand what she was asking about. And Sei-hee was instantly stunned, then began hesitantly explaining. Go-gun cut her off, clarifying that it was a kiss, not just a peck. He spoke so naturally without any hesitation, making Sei-hee even more frozen in place. He gently stepped closer, leaning in to say that he also liked it. Sei-hee burst into laughter, telling him to hush, and lovingly teased him for being shameless while saying she wanted to come see where he worked. Unwilling to resist such sweet innocence, Go-gun brought her to the bar. The manager looked at the stranger with curiosity, then pulled Go-gun aside to ask if he had lost his mind bringing his girlfriend here. Go-gun looked at her and denied the relationship. They were just classmates, which made the manager totally shocked. He demanded Go-gun to come clean, not believing they could be friends if she was following him here this late. No matter how the manager asked, Go-gun insisted they were just school friends, not yet a couple. The manager laughed in his face, noting that his denials were suspicious. Seeing the two of them laughing and joking, Se-hee walked over to get acquainted. Ji-choi proactively introduced himself as a close older brother figure to Go-gun. Se-hee politely greeted him. Before she could introduce herself further, Ji-choi got straight to the point, asking how long they had been dating. Go-gun quickly nudged him to stop asking such questions. Se-hee calmly replied that Go-gun still had not confessed his feelings, so she planned to take the lead. However, not wanting to be the one to confess first, she hinted at Go-gun to be the active one, and with the manager pushing them together, Go-gun thought he should do something about it. At his workplace, he was very different from how he was at school, much more energetic. Ji-choi grabbed a ticket and gave it to Se-hee, asking her to give it to Go-gun, guessing that he was very good at cards but hated gambling for money because his family had issues. Se-hee tried to ask around about what Go-gun was hiding in his heart. But the older brother shared absolutely nothing, asking her to talk to him about this so that Go-gun would agree to enter the tournament. Even though regular customers invited him to play, he flatly refused. Se-hee was surprised by how different he was than at school, when he always looked so cold. Ji-choi, if she understands that, the only way is to compete. Then it would lessen Go-gun's burden, so please, Se-hee, persuade him. Looking at the ticket in her hand, she sighed, can Se-hee really do it? After work, Go-gun immediately drove his female friend home. Se-hee proactively asked to borrow his phone. Without suspicion, he immediately handed it to her. Se-hee quickly saved her number, even giving herself a heart emoji nickname, and asked Go-gun not to delete it, so she could contact him whenever something important came up. However, Go-gun actively offered to drive her home now, but Se-hee did not want him to. This time, the initiative belonged to her. She suggested driving him home, which did not seem right to him. Go-gun suggested that they should each go home their own way to be fair. No matter what he said, Se-hee refused. She just wanted to follow him to work and protect him there. He was speechless and did not bother to say more. Even if he told Se-hee not to follow him, she would still stick to him like a shadow. Se-hee always felt a sense of perplexity. Why did he work so hard? Go-gun answered calmly. His purpose was simply to earn money. Se-hee was shocked, her eyes wide as she looked at him, those eyes captivating him. For the first time, he told her about his younger sister who was sick. The little girl had leukemia. Se-hee was apologetic, saying she had not known about it. She then went with Go-gun to the store. A customer asked if Se-hee was his girlfriend. Se-hee quickly confirmed it. The customer also complimented Se-hee, saying she was lovely and took the time to study here with Go-gun. He replied, it does not matter where you study. If you are smart no matter where you study. I just want to be next to you. Go-gun teased that by looking at her, he could tell she was not good at studying. Then he went to rearrange the goods on the shelf. Se-hee followed to help him. Go-gun looked at her deeply, wondering, if you keep following me like this, what will your parents say? Se-hee had lived in the US before. She was independent and lived entirely on her own, not being controlled by her family. Hearing that, Go-gun did not ask further. While arranging the items, Go-gun's hand accidentally brushed Se-hee's hand, making her jump and pull her hand back. Her face flushed. Like a tomato, she did not dare to look him directly in the eye. Go-gun shed his cold demeanor, joking and teasing that they had already done more than just hold hands. So what was so alarming about holding hands? Se-hee was both embarrassed and adorably vexed with him. After that, Go-gun offered to drive her home. Se-hee happily pointed towards her house to create more intimacy. Before Go-gun left, she spontaneously ran and hugged him from behind, reminding him not to turn around because she was shy, eagerly awaiting tomorrow to meet the person she liked. Go-gun happily watched her leave. Tae-ha witnessed all of this. He sneered, feeling disrespected, because Se-hee did not value him. The next day, Go-gun did not come to class again. Se-hee was sad because she missed him. Her classmates guessed that Se-hee was so upset because Go-gun was absent. Nothing escaped their eyes. Se-hee opened her phone to text Go-gun, asking what he was doing and where he was, but she did not receive a reply. In the hospital, Go-gun and his father were asking about his sister's condition. The doctor presented a treatment plan that could prolong his sister's life and help Jun-hee live better, but with that quality came a very high cost. By all means, Go-gun had to save his sister's life. Even if he had to go through fire, he would earn money by any means. Afterwards, they went to visit Junhee. He gently comforted and cared for her. The doctor also said she would recover soon. To make Junhee worry less. As an older brother, he had to say that. Recently, looking at him, it seemed like his brother. They have already done more than just this, so what is so bad about holding hands? Sei-hee was both shy and affectionately annoyed with him. After that, Go-gun proactively drove Sei-hee home. Sei-hee happily pointed towards her house, to create closer proximity. Before Go-gun left, she spontaneously ran and hugged him from behind, reminding him not to turn around because she was shy, eagerly awaiting tomorrow to meet the person she liked. Go-gun happily watched her leave. Tae-ha witnessed all of this. He sneered, feeling disrespected because Sei-hee did not value him. The next day, Go-gun did not come to class again. Sei-hee was sad because she missed him. Her classmates guessed that Sei-hee was so upset because Go-gun was absent. Nothing escaped their eyes. Sei-hee opened her phone to text Go-gun, asking what he was doing and where he was. But she did not receive a reply. In the hospital, Go-gun and his father were asking about his sister's condition. The doctor presented a treatment plan that could prolong his sister's life and help Junhee live better. But with that quality came a very high cost. By all means, Go-gun had to save his sister's life. Even if he had to go through fire, he would earn money by any means. Afterwards, they went to visit Junhee. He gently comforted and cared for her. The doctor also said she would recover soon. To make Junhee worry less. As an older brother, he had to say that. Recently, looking at him, it seemed like his brother. He was doing and where he was, but she did not receive any feedback. In the hospital, Go-gun and his father inquired about his sister's condition. The doctor offered a treatment method that could extend his sister's life, helping Junhee to have a better life. But with such good quality, it would cost a lot of money. By all means, Go-gun had to save his sister. Even if it meant diving into a sea of fire, he would earn money by any means possible. Afterward, they went to visit Junhee. He gently comforted and cared for her. The doctor also said she would recover soon. To make Junhee worry less. As an older brother, he had to speak that way. Having seen him lately, he gently comforted and cared for her. The doctor also said she would recover soon. To make Junhee worry less. As an older brother, he had to speak that way. Recently, watching him, so I can talk to my brother alone. Junhee asked Dad to buy some juice. She stared at Go-gun for a long time and told him not to keep trying to pay for her treatment. That he should not have to put up with this. Junhee did not want to become a burden. Go-gun could not hold back his emotions. He raised his voice and told her not to say that. Because he had never seen Junhee as a burden. He knew the surgery costs were insane, and he did not want to see him worn out like that. Go-gun shed tears, helpless and unable to say a word. He kept crying. Behind the door, that feeling weighing on him for so long. Go-gun did not know what to do. So he just kept wandering the streets like that. Manager Ji Choi called and told him to come to the bar. Tae-ha had been laying a bet there for a long time. Go-gun ran into him as soon as he arrived. He had no idea what the guy was up to. The moment he saw Go-gun, Tae-ha got up and suggested a wager. Play one hand. If Go-gun won, then he would never show his face in front of him again. But if Go-gun lost, he had to stay away from Sei-hee for good. Go-gun almost laughed. He had never made Sei-hee waver. But she had stirred something in Go-gun first. They had not even officially gotten together, and Tae-ha was already trying to blow it up like this. That only made Go-gun want Sei-hee even more. He had hit the sore spot. Tae-ha gripped the other man's shirt in anger. But that was nothing to Go-gun. He calmly warned Tae-ha, saying if he wanted to keep living peacefully, he should never mess with him. Or he would not know what hit him. A text came in, asking Go-gun to come to the front of the building, and Tae-ha happened to read it too. Before leaving, Go-gun also reminded the manager never to call him in to deal with this kind of mess again. Under the pounding rain, Tae-ha sat in the car, watching everything and immediately called the police. Meanwhile, while Go-gun was cleaning up, the police swooped in and arrested everyone. Go-gun was stunned and had no choice but to go with them. Seeing Tae-ha standing there looking pleased, he was not surprised at all, because he had already known Tae-ha was the one who tipped off the police about Go-gun's arrest. So now, he was using this exact trick to get Go-gun. Go-gun was so angry it felt like he might go crazy. He shouted and rushed toward Tae-ha, but the police stopped him and shoved him into the car. Tae-ha laughed out loud, as if he had completely destroyed the other side. He worried when he did not show up for work, so she even called his phone again, unable to shake her concern for him. His hands were cuffed tightly. By number 8. Go-gun sadly looked outside, where the heavy rain seemed to understand his heart. Remembering what he had once said. She wanted to see his music positive changes. So he would not end up embarrassing her. Those words stayed deep in his mind. Yet they had drifted past each other without noticing. The other person was there. Go-gun was locked in the room, clutching the money he had earned. The police came to call him out, and it made him jump. The police warned him not to break the rules next time, and told Go-gun to call a guardian. He lied and said he did not have a guardian. But the police would not buy it because they were busy and did not want to waste time. The police forced Go-gun to call someone from home. He stayed silent and said nothing. As the police tested his patience, he panicked and ran to find Joy, saying she still had not been able to reach Go-gun all day. At this point, he was probably still working overtime. Joy called too, but there was no answer. Something felt off, because Tae-ha had shown up to make trouble for Go-gun. After getting a call from the police station, Joy and he ran over there as fast as they could. They worriedly called out Go-gun's name. He did not dare face them, and turned away, out of shame in front of He. The police listed all of Go-gun's charges, even if he was a young punk, but he was also involved in helping the organization. Illegal gambling was still music, a serious crime. After the investigation, Go-gun could be sent to juvenile court. He could only bow his head in regret. Ji Choi did everything he could to save him because he was such a pitiful kid. Go-gun did not want to end up there, but his circumstances had pushed him into it. The police reassured Jui. First, bring Go-gun back. When you get the notice, you have to bring Go-gun there. Joy turned to look at his brother. Go-gun, go somewhere else for a while. He patted Go-gun on the shoulder to comfort him, but because of this, the Ji Choi bar had also closed down. But you cannot blame Go-gun. Now Ji Choi has to figure out how to make money. Gun was so moved to have such a good brother. Thank you for going out of your way to help me. SSE Dung asked about the situation, but Go-gun was cold and did not want to answer. She could not help but say, do you have to do that? Music when there was a prestigious tournament, Go-gun would not join, but instead worked at an illegal gambling den. Gun only said he was not there to gamble, but would SSE Dung believe that? She wondered why he would not go to a legal tournament instead. There was no gambling ban for teens anyway. Why was Go-gun so determined not to go? He could win big, but he had his own reasons. One day, he would finally share them. It was because of Go-gun's father gambling that their family ended up in this mess. The prize money from the tournament and from gambling were basically the same. SSE Dung angrily said, and took the prestigious ticket she had won, and placed it in Go-gun's hand. Now he had no better choice. What made SSE Dung so angry was that Gun kept pushing himself into a worse and worse corner. That only made her even more worried about him. She hoped Go-gun would use his head and think about what really mattered. SSE Dung left sadly, while he held the ticket tightly in his hand, silent and wordless. His father had been waiting at home for a long time, preparing chips and cards, to wait for his son to come back. Go-gun let out a long sigh and sat down. His father suggested a round of cards with him. He had heard Ji Choi talk about the ticket and the tournament. If Gun won, he had to join. If he lost, his father would join in. It had been a long time since they last played. Go-gun hesitated for a moment. All night, SSE Dung woke up worried and could not sleep. Seeing his father deal the cards, Go-gun thought it over for a long while. At dawn, he watched his father deal the cards. All night, SSE Dung could not sleep from worry. Seeing that her daughter was upset, her mother went over to sit beside her and comfort her music, asking what was going on and whether she could help. Her mother was SSE Dung's biggest supporter, so she felt safe enough to open up and ask whether she could help. Her mother was SSE Dung's biggest supporter, which made it easier for her to open up. SSE Dung confessed that she liked a boy. But he was such a fool. Even though he had done nothing wrong, SSE Dung just wanted to stay by his side. The look in Go-gun's eyes made her feel only hurt. That made SSE Dung very sad, and she nearly broke down crying in her mother's arms. Her mother sat down beside her music, patted her daughter lovingly, and comforted her, saying that he would surely understand how SSE Dung felt, even if he did not say it. Her mother gently rubbed her shoulder and shared Love can be off balance sometimes, but the more you love, the more complete it becomes. That is also part of growing up. Painful love is the kind of love that makes Dung truly fall for someone. With both heart and mind on her side, her mother's words helped her understand, and she immediately moved to hug her mother tightly, crying hard like a child. Though she did not know who the girl liked, she was clearly lucky. When SSE Dung was loved and cherished, the next day Go Gun stood before the court. The judge asked if he had anything to say before the court. Go Gun had already prepared his statement. He took a very deep breath and calmly explained the reason. He accepted everything he had done, and accepted his punishment. He was firm and serious, promising that he would not let this happen again. Heartbroken, he turned to his father, his sincerity shutting him down completely. Go Gun insisted he would not gamble again. If such a situation ever happened again, he would still act the same way. Even if it meant peddling drugs and getting beaten, Go Gun would still work hard to music earn money for his sister's medical bills. Nothing paid as well as that job. Though he knew it was illegal, Go Gun had no other choices. Hearing this, the judge was moved. Reviewing the file on Go Gun, he felt sorry because the boy was so young, and afraid he might ruin his future. He reduced the sentence for Go Gun. This was the defendant's first offense and he had not yet come of age. Furthermore, his difficult circumstances. The court announced a light sentence. His guardian below was happy. Surprised by the judge's verdict, Go Gun bowed his head in gratitude. Friends at school were gossiping about the fact that Go Gun had broken the law. Say he was curious about what they were watching, and grabbed his phone to check. Suppressing her anger, she burst out. When Go Gun just entered the class, everyone pointed at him, yet he had the audacity to come to school. Say he shouted loudly, making them quiet. She stood up for Go Gun, scolding them for only knowing how to snoop, without caring about their friends. If there were any more bad rumors about Go Gun, they would see, and she would not let them live in peace. Then she directly dragged Go Gun out. He thought she already hated him, but today she was being different, and her attitude was better than usual. Go Gun felt a bit more at ease. He was curious why Say he was treating him so nicely. It seems Go Gun is a bit slow. Not realizing she liked him, he had to wait for Say he to say it straight. Thanks to her mom's sharing, it helped Say he understand things better. Go Gun found love really hard to understand. Calling him a fool was not even wrong. Ever since Go Gun appeared, the life of Say he had been turned upside down. But for him, love was not the only thing. He should not compete for something he did not have. Go Gun had his own path. They were different. From the starting point, he expressed his gratitude to Say he, who had spent time treating him well, then coldly walked away. Say he called him, and he hesitantly picked up. She immediately ran over to explain her persistence in pursuing her own destiny, and that she would keep finding Go Gun. He did not need to do anything, just let her liking him be her own concern. Go Gun's words lost their effect. Say he took the lead, and pulled him down for a kiss. He also responded back like her. But at this moment, Say he confessed to the one she loved, making Go Gun unable to hide his surprise. Afterward, he arrived at the hospital. June he was happy to see her elder brother. Her health condition was making good progress. Dad had already told June Go Gun had lost to Dad in a gamble. He would have to join the tournament. It had been so long since he saw him smile like that. Go Gun should try something he had loved for a long time. If he just kept stalling in his spot, he would miss this golden opportunity. If June he was not hospitalized for so long, she would have pursued her dream, too. She tried to persuade her brother to compete, just that one thing made Go Gun tear up. Outside the hospital room, Go Gun thought about whether to break past his own limits. With hopes from his family, he decided to join the competition, then went outside to meet Say he. She had been waiting for Go Gun to finish visiting his sister. He decided to join the qualifiers, only to apologize for his own stubborn nature. He had pushed Say he away. Feeling worthless, he kept trying to keep her at a distance. Now he realized he wanted to try being Say he's boyfriend with a late, heartfelt confession. Say he blinked, not understanding anything. Looking at him blankly like a child, failing to react at all. This time, Go Gun took the initiative to ask her out, moving Say he to tears. She wanted to hear him say again, That he liked her. Go-Gun indulged her, repeating that he liked Sei-hee. They laughed off their past misunderstandings. The qualifiers officially began, and his father came to cheer for Go-Gun with all his might. He hugged his father tightly. Then, Ji-choi gave him a room key so he could easily rest in between matches rather than commuting back and forth. Then Sei-hee arrived. She gave Go-Gun a lucky charm, wishing him success in the tournament, saying it would protect him. In her stead, she could not hold back her emotions. Go-Gun thanked her with a warm embrace. The bystanders were annoyed by the display. Go-Gun confidently went to get his gear and ran into Tae-ha, also competing. Tae-ha noticed the gift from Sei-hee. Go-Gun asserted his claim, saying his girlfriend gave it to him. He hoped Tae-ha would let the past go and play fair. The main match officially began. Go-Gun kept his cool, easily racking up chips. From afar, Tae-ha observed his style, never stopping his attempt to get revenge. Once the match ended, Go-Gun texted his girlfriend. He was surprised to see Sei-hee had found a way to slip in, missing him so much that she came to see her boyfriend. Go-Gun looked hungry for her. He lunged to kiss Sei-hee, but Go-Gun remained in control of his emotions, not easily seduced. Even with her being so sweet and stunning, he restrained himself, still taking the time to zip up his girlfriend's jacket before laying down on the bed. Sei-hee was confused by his reaction. No matter how much she tried to tempt him, Go-Gun would not budge. Because there was a vital match ahead. He had to get some rest, at least enough to be able to provide for Sei-hee. So he just kissed her forehead and held her as she drifted off to sleep. Winning this contest meant receiving a huge prize. The atmosphere, radiating tension, meant nothing to Go-Gun. Only 10 players remained. Go-Gun and Tae-ha faced off again. Between the two, only one could win. The match was mind-bending for the players. The audience was nervous for them. Go-Gun was great at reading opponents' expressions. He remained calm and analytical. They dropped out due to crushing losses. Go-Gun skipped this hand. He analyzed Tae-ha's cards, but could not guess what he was thinking. Tae-ha bet all his chips, and defeated the guy in glasses. And now only 2 players remained. Go-Gun rubbed his head, tense because his opponent was so difficult. Back at the hospital, Jun-hee nervously watched the match. This moment made everyone worried. Later, Go-Gun's loved ones arrived, full of faith and hope in him. Neither player's cards were bad. Go-Gun lost the ability to read the opponent's thoughts. Unable to know what he was thinking, they gradually raised their bets to the showdown. With his sharp, keen intellect since childhood, Go-Gun balanced his strategy. Both went all in. Tae-ha flipped his cards first, which put Go-Gun at a disadvantage. The odds of victory were extremely low. Tae-ha laughed loudly, thinking he had already won, but it was not over yet. The final card had not been revealed. Tae-ha dropped his demeanor from before, his expression a more anxious face than ever. Go-Gun silently prayed for his wish, wanting to live for himself just once, feeling both anxious and thrilled. The last card was slowly revealed. Go-Gun joyfully stood up, not believing his own eyes, as he had won the competition. The championship cup belonged to him. Tae-ha still could not speak, clenching his fists in anger. Almost crying, yet he maintained his composure. He went to congratulate Go-Gun. Looking down at the audience, Sei-hee happily cheered for her boyfriend, making Tae-ha feel even more defeated. Go-Gun looked happily at Sei-hee, giving her a gentle, thankful look. The whole school was in shock when Go-Gun won. Everyone was surprised. Sei-hee was so proud of him. Go-Gun had not messaged her all day. This was truly awful. The teacher, seeing Sei-hee distracted, gently tapped her head to wake her up. Go-Gun was criticized by the teacher for ditching too many classes. Go-Gun also did not want that. He joked playfully with the homeroom teacher. His father corrected his son's attitude. The female teacher encouraged him to study hard, as just playing around would not secure him a good future. The teacher knew about his victory, and came to congratulate his student, not forgetting to hint to Go-Gun that Sei-hee had been waiting for him all day. His father understood and said he had work to do, leaving early so Go-Gun could be more comfortable with his girlfriend. Go-Gun rushed off like the wind to find his lovely girlfriend. Inside her room, Sei-hee was happily playing the piano. When Go-Gun opened the door and walked in, she immediately stopped music. She warmly greeted her boyfriend, calling him to come quickly to her side. Sei-hee leaned her head on his shoulder, feeling happy. just by sitting next to him. Sei had studied the game he played, and gradually, everything would blossom. Go-Gun told her to play the piano because that was when Sei was at her most serious, radiating her inherent beautiful energy. After that, Sei indulged her boyfriend, playing a very melodious song for him. Just like every situation that happened to Go-Gun. Starting from his failures until now, all his efforts were worthwhile. Go-Gun was immersed in love, betting everything on Sei. In the hospital, June had dreamed of her mother. She advised her not to worry anymore, and to stay by her father and brother. June would take care of the family in her mother's stead. Looking out the window, June requested to go outside to admire the beautiful life. Sei walked on the beach. Go-Gun was always curious about why Sei liked him. But liking someone does not need a reason. She liked him because he was still himself. Sei did not like love that needed a reason, so when she liked someone, there was no reason at all. Sei hoped they would be together forever. Her words were exactly what Go-Gun also wanted to say. They shared a passionate kiss, ending the tiring period, and together looked towards the future. As the film closed, Go-Gun's journey left us with a lingering poignancy but also much warmth. From a high school student pushed to the brink, forced to risk his future in the dark world of gambling to shoulder his family's enormous debt, Go-Gun seemed as if the whole world had turned its back on him. However, fate, which took his peace, compensated him with an angel named Sei. The biggest lesson we realize is that true love has the power to save even the most broken souls. Even if you are at the very bottom of a deep chasm or carry many wounds within you. As long as you do not give up on goodwill, light will always find its way to you. There will always be someone ready to break down that cold defensive wall and take your hand.